Hi guys, so I'm Shem Alex E. Chavez, a software engineer in DNA Micro. So my topic for today is all about React Native debugging tools. So let's proceed. So first, what is React Native debugging tools? The description is already in its title, tools for debugging React Native apps. So it's straightforward. So let's proceed. Next is what is debugging. Debugging is investigating a magic code. So a magic code is a code that run but you don't know how it run. So your first thing need to do here to understand it is debug. So next, debugging in a nutshell. Code for 6 minutes, debug for 6 hours. So this happen when you have a code that is so big and there is a small issue or a thing that you miss and you need to debug it. So the first thing you need to do is to console log it. So debugging using a console log is very irritating. Your approach here is to trial and error. So we don't need to do that. We need to debug smart. Next is, I already mentioned it. So how to investigate a magic code? So here it is, bump it up with a console log. So it's like on the meme, console log everywhere. So this is the common pattern in debugging a JavaScript code. So next is multiple console log in a code is very annoying. So when you deploy an app in production, as much as possible, we mustn't delete the console log. So before the production, if we start a code minimizing the console log and using debuggers, we can eliminate this issue. Next is how to avoid it. It's simple. Stop using console log as much as possible. So the question here is how to debug now. So to debug now, use debuggers. So using debugger is making you a wizard. So there are multiple debugging tools. So the first one is Google Chrome Developer Tools, Safari Developer Tools, React Developer Tools, Reactotron, and Flipper. So the debugging tool that I'll explain is the highlighted ones. So next is coding. So there's a simple app that I've created. This app is an anime search. So you just need to input the anime title and it gives us a list of results. So let's start to search Naruto. So Naruto is a very popular anime. So here it is. So as you can see in the background, I've tried to log the results matching the Naruto title. So as you can see, I don't think any developer would love to read this. It's not readable. So this is when you're not using a debugger. So if you can check my code, let's go to the search. I just log it when I receive a response. So it's just JSON. So JSON. So it's a hell. So how can I read it easily? So the most basic one is to use the Google Developer Tools. So to use the Google Developer Tools, we just need to open the developer menu and debug with Chrome. So it opens a tab. Let's try to retry our code and try to search Naruto again. So as you can see, I think if you came from web development, logging the response is already readable. So you can open it and close it and view the results. So you can see it here. Unlike in the React Native, by default, it shows on the terminal and it's not readable. So we don't want that. So the next question here is, what can we do in Google Chrome Developer Tools? So first thing is console.log, which is what I've shown this one. The next is breakpoint. So breakpoint is adding a point where you stop the code. So I want to so let's try to open pages detail index. So I want to stop it here and check if there's a data on the anime state. So let's try to refresh it again so we can go from the start. So I'll just search Naruto again. So open the developer tool and let's go to the Naruto or the detail component. So as you can see, I haven't go directly there because there's a breakpoint. So as you can see, it is highlighted. So on a breakpoint, you can view several tools that can help you to debug it smartly. First is thread, next is watch, breakpoint, scope, call stack, XHR, fetch, breakpoints, DOM breakpoints, global listeners, event listener, breakpoints, CSP violation breakpoints. So I won't explain each of it since it's a big topic. So the main focus here is just stop on a specific line of code and inspect if it have a value or not. So when you stop a code here, you can log it on the console log. So for example, anime is a variable. So let's try to show it. What's its current value? So by default, it doesn't have a value since it haven't send a request. So that's why it's null. So let's try to start the breakpoint. So as you can see, it's loading. So during this render, let's try to check if it already have a value. So it already have a value. So you can see that you can log the variable on the console log, and it's very helpful. Let's say that let's try to add another breakpoint here, and let's try to log image URL and synopsis. So here, image URL. So here it is. Synopsis. It's here also. So it's very helpful. So if you don't use a breakpoint, so what most developers do is just add a console log here, console log the anime, console log the image URL, console log the synopsis, and it's very annoying to see multiple console logs. And the approach there is trial and error. If there's a value, let's add a console log here. So if we use a breakpoint, so we can eliminate that one and we can control the flow of the app. So that's for breakpoint. So let's try to proceed. So before I forget something. So by default, the selected one here is the top. So you just need to click the debugger worker so you can log. So let's try to proceed, and here it is. The Naruto detail about Naruto is showing. That's for Google Chrome developer tools. The next thing is React developer tools. So what is React developer tools? So let's try to React dev tools. So if you came from React, I think it's very familiar for you because it's already on the Chrome. So I think this one. So on in the React Native, it's almost the same. So let's try to open that one. So let's try to refresh it again. My bad. Where it is? Anime search. So here it is. So this is the React native developer tool. So I think on your mind is how to install it. So it's easy to install. So you just need to go to the React native debugging. Let's search it in Google. So React developer tools. So the first thing you need to do is just follow the steps. So yarn global if you're using yarn, and execute it on the command after installing it. So it's an easy step. So let's continue. So the next question here is, what can we do in React Dev Tools? So first is we can view the hierarchy of the components. So here it is. So from app, navigation container, and etc. So the next, the right tab here, it shows the props, the hooks, how the selected component rendered by, and source. So as an example, so first is I'll just search Naruto again. Naruto is showing on the hooks, so it's under the state. So this state is, if we can view in the code, it's the search text, and the animes is this state. So we can also update it from here if you want. So what I'm thinking is I'll change it to redo a failure. So as you can see, it's already updated. So it's like you're inputting manually here. So, and it's very helpful in debugging because you don't need to just interact with the app, just need to focus on interacting on the dev tools and reading some helpful results. So that's for updating the prop. Not the prop, but the hooks, rather the hooks. So next is what can we do for the let's just to open this anime and view characters, and I'll select Gerald Flair Al Grande. So here it is. So the next helpful thing here is let's also search the character component. So how this specific component rendered by. So this is a hierarchy specifically for character. The scroll view under character. So it starts from the app, since the app is the entry point of the app to run, stack navigator and etc. And let's go to the scroll view. So we can know how it rendered by if it's too deep. What else? So for this one, scroll view, we can also view its source. So where this specific component written on. So it's under the character and index.js. So we can copy that to the clipboard, and let's make a scenario. So for example, this component is too deep and I don't know where this file is located. So using reactive tools, we can just do a click and direct to that specific file and line. So we just need to click this one, view source for this element. So let's try to click. Boom. We're in the specific file and its line. So we don't need to check one by one the folder under it. So in the real life app, there are so many subfolders, and if you check each folder one by one, it takes time. So we don't want that. We want to be smart. So here, right? I believe on the saying that programmers are lazy. So if you're lazy, we don't need to give extra time for this kind of approach. We want to chill. So let's go back to the React Dev Tools. Also, you can also wait. We can also log the component on the console.log on the Chrome. So we can do that by clicking this one, log this component data to the console. So what's the result for that one? So we log the character component. So it shows the props, the hooks, the nodes, and its location. So we don't need to add a multiple console logs just to show the specific state, the props of it. So our code is very clean, no console log. So that's what we want. What else? I think we covered all of the tools on the component tab. So let's proceed to the profiler. So what is a profiler? A profiler is you start to record on a specific time and stop it on a specific time also. So it's just you record a specific flow. So why do you want to record a specific flow? So for example, let's go back to the home page. So for example, if we search a specific anime and it gives results, and you click it, and for example there's a lag that's happening there, so we want to check what happens on that specific flow. So what we need to do here is just start the profiler, start the record, and play. I think I'll just show to you. So for example, I'll search let's use a go filler again. No, it's too long. I'll just refresh it again. So I'll start profiling and search Naruto. So after giving a result, I'll stop it. I'll stop recording it. Stop. So here. So what you can see here is the component that are rendered during that flow. So it's too long. So that's for flame graph, and I'll just explain what's flame graph. So flame graph is a hierarchy of component that shows the component obviously, and when you click it, it shows how it rendered. So let's try to search the search component. So I think I need to show where search component was displayed. So let's go to the app. So the app, it have a navigation container, a stack navigator, and a couple of pages, which is search, detail, characters, and character. The search is for this page. The detail is when you click an anime or the detail of the anime. The characters is a list of characters of that specific anime, and the character is the character. So the first page is search. So let's try to click the search. So as you can see, you can view how many times that component rendered. So let's count how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think let's try it again. I think I haven't refreshed it. That's why it has multiple renders. So let's try again. Start NAUTO and stop. Click search. So let's count it again. How many this component rendered? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So why it's 7? So first is every input we render the component. So first one is for N, A, R, U, T, O, and the result of that search. So that's why it's 7. So here we know how many times the component rendered. And if it rendered multiple times and causes a lag, we know what specific component. So the next question here is how to know if that specific component rendered multiple times and it caused the lag. So that's where the rank chart comes in. So the rank chart rank the top components that rendered multiple times. So the first one obviously is the search. So here it is. So we can know that okay, in this component we have a performance issue, and we need to focus on this specific component and found what missing piece that we haven't implemented it yet to improve the performance. So what else? So yeah, that's for search. So what else? So the next debugger tool that I'll explain is the Reactotron. So what is Reactotron? So I'll just refresh it again so we can start from the bottom. So what is Reactotron? So let's just search on the internet what is Reactotron. So Reactotron is just another debugger tool. So it view the application state, use show API requests and responses, perform quick benchmark, subscribe to parts, display message similar to console.log, track global error, and etc. So let's proceed. So let's go back to the Reactotron. So on the Reactotron, what can we do on Reactotron? Since we already use the Google Chrome developer tools, we use the React Dev tools. So what missing thing that we just need to use for Reactotron, since almost techniques are already covered on those two that I've mentioned. So first is this one, connection. So when you start a Reactotron, it lags this one, connection. So what data shows on the connection? First is the environment. Next, the platform, iOS, platform version 14.4 or release model 04. System name, screen width, screen height, React Native version, and etc. So for example, we want to know the device info. So common thing again is use console.log. So here it already displayed. So the question here again is like on what I've discussed on the React Dev tool, how we're going to set up it. So it's also easy. We just need to search it on the Google, open its documentation, open quick installation guide. My bad, not that one, but this one, quick start for React Native. So we just need to follow these steps and it's so easy. So I won't discuss it because it's too long, so I'll just show the code how I set up it. First is I'll just add the library, install the library, Reactotron, so it's already added. Next is you create a file named reactotron config.js and paste this one from the documentation. No code, just copy and paste. Next is import this one before the app. So this is also a copy and paste from the documentation. So if you can read the documentation and there's no such thing as impossible. So that's for setting up a Reactotron. So it's very easy. So what is other advantages? So its other advantages is let's open the app. This one. Let's search Attack on Titan. So as you can see, requests are also logged here. So we can see the URL, status code, method, duration. So response, which is this one, response headers, request param, request headers. So these things, especially the status code, method, response headers, request param, request headers, are not logged when you console log a response from the Google Chrome. So you need to specifically log the response header to get this one. So here you don't need to log these things. It already show here. So this is also important. And the duration, how the request finish. So it's very helpful in checking if this specific API is taking long or what its connection setup. So no console log again. That's another common advantage of Reactotron. Next is let's try to simulate an error. So index, so I'll just comment it and let's try to refresh the app again and let's search Attack on Titan again and let's try to click this one. Boom, it's error. So next problem here is we want to find where the error happened. So if we just check the error that's showing on the simulator, it's not complete, just index.js. So we don't know where this index.js come from. So here is where Reactotron the rescue, since all errors are logged on the Reactotron app. So here it shows the complete detail. Pages search index.js. So we already know where the index.js came from. Next, or the special one, is when you click this one, you already redirect where the error happened. So let's try to click this one. Boom. So when using it, it causes an error. So we now have an idea. So link to. So if we can check before, we already comment it out. So it's null. Link to is not existing. So that's also the common advantage of Reactotron. Next is you want to uniform the logs. So instead of when you use a console log, it doesn't show to the Reactotron app automatically. So when you use the typical console.log, it just show on the Google Chrome. And if you want to show it here, so there's some small tweak to show the log on the Reactotron app. So this is the important one, console.tron, and you need to put the Reactotron to this variable. And if we want to log a console if you want to log a data on the Reactotron, I think I've already created one console.tron, not yet. So I'll just add it here, console.tron log. Let's try to log the anime. Um, oh wait. Um, so let's try to run the app again and check. So here it is. So it shows the log. So let's try to search the Naruto. Naruto. So as you can see, it shows on the Reactotron app. So that's for putting the log on the Reactotron app. So the last one that I'll show to you is so the last one that I'll show to you is logging the image on Reactotron. So normally on console.log, you can't log the image. So Reactotron have the ability to log an image. So I have a sorry. I have a sample image to display. Use display or use it as an example. I think I forgot the keyword. So when we forgot the keyword, we just need to go to the docs. Log. Reactotron. Where is it? I think it's tips and tricks. This one. So another copy and paste. Put it here. Remove the unnecessary data. And put my sample image. And let's try to refresh. Open Reactotron app. Open the app. And here it is displayed. So when we click this specific log, boom, it shows the Naruto image. So let's go back to the slide. So I I'll just wrap it up. So I've already explained the Google Chrome developer tools, React developer tools, Reactotron. So the remaining you need to do is just research it more to familiar and use it. So I think that's also. I'll just end it saying thank you guys for staying, and yeah, that's it. Bye. Ito na kayo eh. Mana. Okay na ba? Pila ka minutes?